What's going on, guys? Once again, Demetris Ford here. I have two very special guests here today, coming all the way from Iowa. One is actually a hometown hero, which is why he's been so successful in the real estate industry. To my right, I have Mr. Boo Reitz, and to my left, I have Miss Carly. How do you say your last name again? Cameroon. I'm sorry, guys. I just didn't want to. I still butchered it. I even asked her before we started rolling. But two individuals coming from my highly productive and very successful real estate industry. Of course, I don't want to talk too much about myself. You guys already know me, but I want to give it away from Boo to kind of give an intro on what you guys do as a collective team, as well as how you guys have kind of been successful and what separates you from the rest of the real estate groups in Texas.
Yeah, so born and raised in Dallas, Texas, 36 years. Grew up in a bigger family, so there's, in Plano, there's a lot of people we don't know, connected through sports and going through all the school district of Plano ISD. So right out of high school, went off to college.
What did you study in college, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a degree called Energy of Commerce at Texas Tech.
Okay, so what is it dealing with?
Petroleum
engineering. Okay, so you're going for the big bucks already.
Yeah, I got a lot of family in real estate and a lot of family in oil. So,
okay. Wow, so that's a big switch up move, because at least where I'm from, Arkansas oil and gas is either that or Tyson, or you're tied in Walmart, right?
Correct.
That's the only way to kind of make that much of a substantial amount of difference of money and funding in your life for you to already have something set in stone. That was a ballsy move to go to real estate.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose either.
So how did fast forward a little bit? I know you went to college for that.
Yeah.
So how did the whole real estate business come out for you?
I went to Texas Tech. And getting out of college, 2015, oil crashed, so there was no jobs. And so bouncing off ideas, going back to school to finish a minor I had in business, was going to just get a bachelor's and minor. I have an uncle that is in real estate. He's always been in commercial real estate.
Okay.
And he just kept trying to convince me to go get my real estate license. And after my first semester I went off to UNT. After Tech to finish the business, and it was just a completely different culture change from being out at Tech in Lubbock to Denton, which was almost too close to home, because you were kind of close enough to commute but didn't want to commute.
Exactly.
And so I just overnight started studying for my real estate license.
And how long did it take you to kind of get everything down and get your license to be able to even generate your first sale?
So you could do self-paced. So a lot of people that get into real estate will do online courses.
Okay, and you went to online.
I went online because I was still studying at UNT, so I was still in college.
Okay, so about how long did it take you to do it online, even double dipping?
Yeah, I mean it's fairly quick. I would say from start to finish of being licensed, it was about 2.5, 3 months.
Okay.
So not too long. I mean, especially with the career that you can make out of real estate and the amount of money you can make.
And that's what we're going to hit on next. So let's not fast forward too much.
Yeah.
Let's talk to the other misses over here. Miss Carly, I'm glad that you came with Boo here today. You happen to be a very resourceful advocate for Boo in the real estate industry. I want to give it over to you to kind of give your story on how you even found out and connected with Boo, and what gave you any interest in the real estate agency as well?
Boo had a good name in real estate, obviously, but he is truly one of the best realtors that I've ever gotten the chance to work for. So when it came a bigger opportunity to work with him more closely, hand in hand on the same team, it was an easy answer.
So everything kind of coordinates with you, even just listening to you, because it's kind of like my first time actually having a drawn-out conversation with you.
Same. I think that's what threw me off for a second.
And, but the thing about this is that, of course, one is it's genuine talk. So I do this way is to be able to get the real answers for people to understand, because you're a woman, and I wouldn't say a man's world, but men, we do dominate when it comes down to business and how to coordinate and run. And with Boo being a dominant factor already, like you had already heard his name, it just tells me skills about yourself that you have of it's an adamant skill set is a very positive thing, especially in business. Like you said, you kept reaching out to them and reaching out to them. I'm sure that's exactly what makes you very successful within keeping up with all that paperwork and stuff on the back end and making sure everything is right so that everybody shines when it comes down to the deals, correct?
Correct. And
Okay.
I mean, the nice thing is, like, we want Boo out there getting more deals, more clients, talking to his people. Like, that's the whole point.
Exactly,
And I can
right.
be in the background making sure that it's all going smoothly.
More money for everybody. Everybody gets a slice of the cake. That's great. So with you two working together, how many years have you guys actually been hand to hand working with each other?
I think it's going on 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years?
Just about 2, just right after we helped you.
Okay.
You didn't get to do a transaction with Carly.
No,
but
you didn't.
I mean, it was shortly after, shortly after
Yeah.
you purchased the land. For me, the biggest thing was just like in any business, we have there's a lot of people that want to get into real estate. There's a lot of people that want to get into roofing. Mm-hmm. Nobody really truly has the desire or want to actually go out and do what it takes to succeed in these industries. Especially in 2021 with like the bid war and the interest rates dropping.
Absolutely.
Everyone you knew got into real estate. Everybody thought it was going to be quick, easy money, and those agents are already starting to fall out because we're in probably one of the toughest markets right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to hit on next as well. As far as educational purposes, I mean, of course, this is why we do this for people, is to be able to tune in and understand even modern day time as far as what's going on right now. Right now, let's talk a little bit about the markets and what you guys are seeing and how you guys have been helping people to constantly get in houses because it hasn't really slowed down for you guys.
It
I've been
hasn't.
saying.
Yeah.
So what would you say to anyone looking to get into real estate or already been in that's kind of been having a little bit of backlash on the business?
The biggest thing is like Carly tapped on was, she's not from here, so she doesn't have the network. When you don't have the network, what I would suggest for an agent is to get on the best team you can find.
Okay.
And build your own network with that team. Learn who they network with. It could be contractors, it can be roofers, it can be anything you could think of, title companies that help do marketing. It's definitely a lot more of a grind when you're not from here. So we get agents all the time that move, from New York, California, Washington. We had a couple from New Jersey, Florida. And the first thing they do is they look for leads. They want people to hand them leads. So there are brokerages out there, and there's a lot of good brokerages that I say are like your first 2-year brokerages where you learn.
Absolutely.
You get trained, and then you go on and you start taking your production and you go to a better fit for you.
Okay. So it's basically just doing what you have to do to kind of just figure out where you're best fit and which team is best for you. Because, I mean, there are massive real estate companies out here in Texas, just like roofing. And it's very competitive. But one thing I do see is a lot of new builds and homes, and it's a lot of people moving here to Texas. Right. So, of course, that benefits you guys. But with you, Boo and Carly, you guys didn't choose one of the biggest real estate groups. Why? Of course, you were already tied in with your family.
Yeah.
So even coming from not one of the largest real estate groups or agencies or whatever you call it, what gives you the competitive edge to be able to make and hit the numbers that you're hitting? Because you're DFW top 100, that's a big accomplishment. Like, you got to know what you're doing. So what piece of advice would you give everyone coming from your experiences that you've had? Because I know it hasn't been an easy path.
You got to learn what you're selling. Same thing in roofs, right? So anybody could door knock and get on a roof, but you're one of the best I've ever seen when it comes to one-on-one conversations with the homeowner and actually showing the value in what you're putting into the roof. That's why I've been doing this almost 10 years. You were always my go-to roofer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always trusted you with my clients. I knew you weren't just going to, most of the roofers around here that don't even know what they're doing on a roof automatically just want you to call insurance.
Yeah.
But when it comes to real estate, that's like the worst thing you could tell me is let's just get insurance involved, because you're not only putting stress on the transactions could fall through, all just because you want to try to get a roof or because there's actually damage up there.
Absolutely.
And then it could slow down the process, because normally you got an option period with inspections getting done. Mm-hmm. And by the time that option period is done, we got 2 or 3 weeks to close. Mm-hmm. And we all know insurance isn't working that quick.
Yep. Yeah, it ain't working that quick.
So the biggest separation for us is, I got into this company that I'm with, the brokerage is Exit Realty. When my uncle transitioned from doing commercial real estate, he still does commercial, but he purchased a couple of the franchises for Exit, so I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn from my uncle because he's been in the business so long. He's always been successful. So I got into the business, and I quickly learned. My uncle's in South Lake, so he's on the phone.
Yeah.
I wasn't really shadowing him. I tried for a minute, but it was a lot of timing and back and forth and working with his schedule. So I started learning what my network was looking for very quickly too.
So the difference between you, because of course your network is completely opposite of your uncle's, I would assume. You being a young buck and getting in and understanding the transactions and how to sell real estate, but you had to have a different, like I said, demographic that you were kind of going afterwards, which I've seen. How did you develop that? Like, how do you go about doing that in a real estate agency?
Yeah, it's my network and what I've built is completely different than what I would try to teach somebody.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because I don't pay for leads. I don't pay for advertising. Mm-hmm. It's all word of mouth. And, with a lot of businesses, they utilize Instagram.
Yep.
Instagram Reels, all that. But I learned real quick, my clientele's in a certain radius of Dallas. Mm-hmm. We can sell in all of Texas, but I really don't want to drive down to El Paso to sell you a house.
Exactly.
So your Instagram, like especially with our background in bodybuilding, we could have people in Sweden following us.
Yep. You sure
I can't sell them a house.
You can't sell a house out
They
there.
can refer me to somebody.
But
the likelihood of them knowing somebody in Dallas, so I relied on my network on Facebook.
Okay.
So Facebook, I don't have the 100,000 followers. I might have 3,500, but I know every 3,500 of them.
Because of the hometown base.
Because of hometown and people I know. And then you start following, as you go through high school, you go through college, you're in the bodybuilding scene in Dallas. I mean, I've sold a lot of homes out of our home gym, Destination Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not one person in there that I don't know that didn't buy a house from me. That's how I met you.
Exactly. Yeah, true. That's very true.
But it takes a certain salesperson. I mean, I hate to say that because I don't like to be looked at as like a car salesman. Because I'm not pushy.
Yeah.
I trust that you're going to trust me, and when the time is right, you're going to call me, and I will stay in touch with you. And I always have the answers, and that's another thing we'll get to is knowledge. But it's mostly how you. Now, when I go places, people bring up real estate to me. Mm-hmm. I don't have to tell people what I do; they know. And everybody wants to know the market, right?
Yeah.
So that's the number one question. It's like, hey, is it a good time to buy? Should I wait?
So they're breaking the ice for you. You don't have to bring it up.
Yeah. And in the beginning, though, you have to be that person. Like, hey, I tell everybody, reach out. Even in the roofing guys, for you guys, I'm like, reach out and let people know what you do.
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, I don't understand why people wouldn't let people know what they're doing if they're serious about what they're doing, right? Carly, so to be able to dive into the business, of course, it's been 2 years. Boo was kind of already churning once you dove in. Did you ever feel like it was a little bit too much that you tried to bite off of, or was it something that, of course, that you were very thrilled to be a part of when it came down to the volume that you guys have to transact and push? Because and you're moving at 120 miles per hour. As soon as you drop off, right?
Yeah.
So, and I understand Boo, so we're working with Boo. Like, I get it.
Right.
So, if it's something that you could give everyone being in your position and being a woman, what would you say as far as a piece of advice when understanding business for women?
I feel like men and women both. I don't know how to really differentiate it because I guess for women it's more I know when I have to be patient with him. I know when he's being a hothead, but like I'll give it back to him too someday. So I can't even say that I won't. I think that if you want to hustle, you want to hustle, and so that's the difference. Like me and Boo both quickly realized that we were both in it I knew that he was about his business. He knew that I was there to like work and really hustle. I wasn't there just for the quick money. I wasn't there for a short-term goal. I was there for long-term goals.
Okay, so the main piece, the key word that I wanted people to hear was the word hustle.
Yeah.
And you said it too. Whenever I was talking about your experiences, you completely different demographics coming together as one, but the one like mind is what make you guys work really well. So on any team, of course, playing sports, we all did growing up, it is the teams that were solid and the teams that always won consistently were the teams that had one goal. So congrats to you guys on being able to do that.
Right.
There's a lot more that I think helped us with success when we brought her on was, everybody that's in real estate that starts doing well, and I'm going to say well, I'm going to put an agent at 7 to 10 million production a year. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good agent. I mean, they're making good money. They're making $300,000 a year.
Okay.
Right.
So 7 to 10 million in real estate, you're making at least 300,000.
Yeah.
It depends.
You know how your profit margins work.
Correct. It depends on the brokerage they're at, the splits they're getting. If they're working leads, they're getting less commissions. But if you're producing 7 to 10, I think you're a good agent. You're doing well. You're doing really well. Now, I don't call you a top producer.
Yeah.
And that's where I might have a different opinion of the top producing agents.
So what would you say is top producing for you in Texas real estate?
In Dallas,
Yeah.
20 to 30 million.
20 to 30 million.
Yeah, you should be making close to 7 figures.
Okay.
So, and I only say that lightly because I think, if I could speak freely, it might be but like there's a lot of things out there people post, I'm a top agent, I'm a top 1%, and I can look their production up and they sell $4 million a year.
Well, and everyone's an agent. So many people are an agent nowadays. Like 1 in 4 people is an agent.
Yeah.
Which is scary. Like actually has their license. Should they? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But 1 in 4 people do.
We have some terrible transactions.
Yeah.
We have some really good transactions. And a lot of times, from the initial conversation what you're about to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta keep, on my end, it could be frustrating, but there's a lot of agents that are also new and they know they're new and they want to learn. Mm-hmm. So I've had agents I'm going to, and they ask for my opinion on things, and they're on the other side of the transaction.
Absolutely.
But I try to be respectful to all the agents until they disrespect back, which you get every now and then. But being a top agent to me is not about posting D Magazine awards. You see that right now. That was last week or 2 weeks ago.
I'm seeing everybody post.
It's a voting. It's voting. It has nothing to do with your actual production and whether people want to argue that. There's 2 different kinds. Your broker submits your production, and then you're voted in. So you've never seen me post D Magazine.
No.
Because it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I like real, just like you. We're pretty real as people. That's why we get along, and I don't like fake. And if you're trying to ask me, there's a couple other magazines that are known in the area. We don't need to mention them, but they'll ask you to pay $2,000 and they'll put you on a spread in the page. And
so what people are essentially doing is faking it till you make it. They're trying to you're spending the money that they have to be able to have better marketing instead of going out and generating that pure grit of a hustle of building your business from ground up. They're looking for already slapped out lights.
Well, we also are in a day and age of content creators.
Yeah.
Which I see a different business side of that. If you're a content creator in real estate, you can create a team and take all those leads you got coming in.
Exactly.
And you don't even have to work. You just hand them off.
Yeah, you just hand them off.
You just do social media.
And all
just
you
do the social media.
Yeah, so if you're not really wanting to be an agent, now if we go on a transaction together and we start negotiating, I'm going to get you.
Yeah, because you're qualified agent. I know you need
I mean, how many roofs have I had that were on the seller side that I had to buy and I've gotten you the roof?
Yep.
You're going to get them anyways.
So.
I feel like that is your strength.
That only makes sense.
And now it's gotten even more creative. I mean, I got some crazy stuff I've been doing with option periods of when people say it's a new roof.
Yeah.
And I realized they didn't do the drip edge or the gutters or
because
the fence.
now you know exactly how to do some roofs.
Now they owe us money.
Yep.
Because it was paid.
Yep.
So I learned that from you.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dee. Yes, you said.
We just got one of my clients an extra $5,000. because they didn't do the work. And I'm like, well, that's fine if you don't want to do it, but you owe my client that money.
You
And-
said they were committing insurance fraud.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad word.
That's not good. You sit in jail for that.
Yeah.
That kind of like already flows into my next topic. I mean, this conversation is going great, guys.
Yeah.
Next topic is real estate and roofing. I call it double R because this is Rolls Royce of the world right now. If you ask me,
They go together.
Fair enough.
they just go
Yeah.
together. It's very prestige when you know how to make them go hand in hand and work for each other. So, of course, Boo, we've been working for a while. You trusting me as just a roofer for your real estate. Then, of course, now we're tying you into the biz and we're moving together hand in hand. Not only that you benefit from one side of the field, but the other to be able to offer your clients the best absolute deal, not only on the real estate side, but structurally now that you have legit warranties to be able to pass to the buyer or the seller, whatever situation is in, that's golden, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
what would you guys say to any agency or agent? What would you guys say is to look for within selecting a contractor when it comes down to that kind of stuff? Especially you guys have to have these reports and stuff get sent to you. How valuable is that?
So that's one of it. There's two different avenues there, right? You got, are we getting a roof done? Mm-hmm. That's where you look at quality, right? What are they putting into the roof? Like we've learned, over the years, a lot of people will cut corners by not tearing off all the felt. Mm-hmm. Well, automatically they just voided the manufacturer warranty.
And they didn't even know.
And they didn't know.
think they have warranty.
Exactly. So
Yeah, because we get it all the time. Homeowners
Yeah.
like, yeah, I got my warranty. I'm just like, no, you don't.
yeah, and then you look at the ridge. You
Yep.
know, a lot of people want to cut corners and put a 3-tab ridge on a roof, and you can spot that from down the street.
Yep, 25-year on top of a 30-year field.
And the most vulnerable, correct me if I'm wrong, but the most vulnerable part of that roof is the ridge. And
First
so you got a
line of
weaker,
defense,
yeah,
yep.
you got a weaker shingle on the ridge. So that's one topic where I look at the quality that YFR brings, and I preach it to all my clients. You got the Z ridge is one that we do a lot of. It's a thicker shingle, and it withholds those hits better.
Absolutely.
You got the synthetic underlayment. You got the ice and water shields.
Ice and water shoes real big here. Because, whenever the Snowmageddon happened, every single leak is either a pipe bust or it was the valleys because the ice and snow sits in all the crevices. So ice and water is really big.
Yeah. And then, more that I've learned just being around you was even the underlayment is not just for you guys, but also the installer.
Yep.
So what kind of underlayment you're using
None
that's
slip,
safe for them to be working on the roof.
To be able to install and work on.
But and then the standard, putting an impact resistant shingle on all the clients, whether they had a 3-tab originally. Mm-hmm. So now they're saving money on insurance. So all those things factor into being able to sell you as a contractor to get that roof. Now the other side of it, if I just need to call you for an inspection, not everybody wants to do that.
Yep.
Because you're taking time out of your day, probably an hour to do an inspection. It's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. But what it did was it built a relationship for me and you.
Absolutely.
So I know if I called you, you were going to jump on it.
Yep.
And then that's why it's my job to negotiate the fight. And I think out of all the roofs we've ever done, I only lost 2 of them for you.
Yep, for sure.
And that's rare,
For
right?
sure,
Like
yeah, very rare.
I know people don't want to kill deals over that stuff. And it is a battle between buyer is buying the home and they're inheriting the roof and they want the quality that we're talking about. And then the seller has, hey, this is my insurance company and the policy's under my name. And
Yep. It's the sense of control. Sometimes with people, they just want to feel like they're in charge.
Yep.
And in life, you need to understand that you can't play quarterback for every team because every team's skill set is a little bit different. And you may not be the best at that position on that team. So, with real estate and even with roofing, you really got to have people that trust in you and believe in your works and your word too.
And the biggest thing is go back to the hustle, right? So if you get a phone call and I need an inspection, you're jumping on it within 24 hours. And then the biggest thing is getting that report in hand because I only have on an average 5 to 7 days to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell me you're going to give me a report and it takes 2 days to get that report, I guarantee you I already negotiated without your report.
Yep,
Yeah.
true.
So, and sometimes I've had to do that where I didn't have time to get a roofer out because sometimes clients wait till it's 2 days.
last minute.
Yeah.
So we just use the inspection's always going to do a roof inspection, but they just look for signs. It could be any mark on the roof.
It's like it's kind of like they're looking for mechanical
Correct.
damages. They're not looking
Mostly
for storm related
mechanical.
damages.
Yes, mostly mechanical. And they call it hail.
Yeah, they call it hell.
And they will.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they definitely mess it up. So we bump heads all the time with inspectors. So speed, quality, impeccability, trust.
Trust is big too. Like I said, you can ruin my payday.
Yep.
So, and you can ruin my clients.
Yep.
Like they can lose out on, because if you got to put a house back on the market, it's never the same house.
Yeah,
Right.
People all of a sudden think now I can lowball them because that house just came back.
absolutely.
So if there's a reason, I never let roofs kill a deal. They will never kill a deal. We'll always figure it out because people have insurance.
Yep.
And you can negotiate. I've had where people split, cost on deductibles.
Man, we've done some crazy things with seller to buyer and the insurance deal. I'm talking about, man, it was one, and we didn't even do the roof until a month and a half after they had already moved in.
Yep.
And we still coordinated everything. So the qualities that you need, of course, like I said, would be speed, trust, quality, impeccability, and understanding the knowledge and insurance game as far as coordination and entire project management. Those are the things that you would need to be very successful in a roofing business. Period. You see you got a lot of roofers which don't have the knowledge to communicate on behalf of the homeowner with insurance and understanding money. And then you also have marketing roofers, which you see all these marketing guys come in, hire a super mass amount of door knockers and go promote them in the shirts that they don't pay for or give them business.
and that's true. Like it's a numbers game. It's the same thing in real estate, right?
Yeah.
So that's why there's a lot of brokerages, big brokerages, right? You look at a Plano, I'm going to say them, Keller Williams Plano probably has 600 to 800 agents sitting in it. And the average realtor is selling 3 to 5 homes a year. Why do they have them in that office? Because there's 600 to 800 of them.
Call-ins online.
They make them make calls.
Yep.
So bigger brokerages, like I don't mind Monument. I think Monument would be one of the brokerages are huge. They're at the Star. I think they do, they train you well. You have to go through their SEAL training to be able to work leads. And that's one of the brokerages I think is a good place to start.
Yeah.
A smaller boutique brokerage may also put more time into you, but they're not going to have the rights to every Frisco lead that comes in. I think Monument owns like all Realtor.com leads for Frisco. So there are differences, right? You got these mass companies in roofing who are hiring everybody because if they have 1,000 guys, 1,000 PMs, and they're doing one roof a month.
Yep.
That's 1,000 roofs.
And
then in real estate, it's the same thing, but in real estate, they start charging desk fees.
Yep.
So whether you sell a house or not, I was talking to my aunt 2 days ago. She used to be at Remax like 20 years ago. And whether they sold a house or not, she paid $1,200 a month.
So you better get
That's
your butt out
steep.
there and work.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, though.
That
I'm like,
is
they
a
need to
great
bring
thing.
that back because if you're not selling, are you going to keep your license? No,
Yeah.
you weed out those people.
Yep. You weed them out.
Now everybody's like, you're negotiating crazy splits because the only thing with real estate is we do have to have a license. Roofing, you don't. At least here, you don't.
Yeah. But that's coming soon.
Yeah.
Really?
It needs to.
Very
It
soon.
really
Is
needs
it?
to.
Yeah, it's coming soon, and you have to have it. I totally agree. You need to have your licensing if you're gonna call yourself a professional at anything.
Right.
Well, especially when you're dealing with insurance. I mean, you can create insurance fraud and you might not even know you did.
Dude, you're talking about. I don't care if you take a cent.
Yeah.
Whenever handling the claims, if you don't have those numbers right, you're insurance fraud.
Correct.
And that will put not only the company in jail, but it's going to put the insured in jail too. So now you done took away people from their family, and they got to have a felony on their rap sheet.
And that's why it should be regulated, I think. And I don't know how they're going to do it. You might know more if just the owners need to have the license or if each PM needs to have a license, like in real estate. There's two different licenses.
Yeah.
You got a brokerage license, which takes 400 to 800 hours. And then you got real estate license, which is 160, 180 hours.
Kind of like a PM base.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just need to know the basics. And part of the real estate license is legal.
Yep.
So you have a book just on legal. It doesn't dab
Legality.
into it 100%, but it's going to ask you a couple questions. And so you need to know the book because you don't know what it's going to ask you.
Exactly.
But the same thing, there should be like a chapter, 30 hours of insurance. So you know like
Yep.
what they look
So
for.
exactly what to look for. I think it should be product knowledge, insurance handling, carriers, commercial, residential. A lot of stuff could go into a contractor's.
Well, and that goes back to, we were talking what made me stand out and be successful. Just like in roofing, I was trying to mention is knowledge.
Yeah.
You need to know what you're selling. So like when I've been in this 10 years now, just about 9, and when I walk homes, I start pointing out things that are going to come up on inspection.
Yeah.
I can't see within the walls.
Yeah.
That's the inspector's job, but I could tell you outside, inside, look at AC units, look at water heaters, and I already am preparing you what you're about to walk into during your inspection. So when you get a 60-page report, you're not overwhelmed.
Yep. And then they're calling you, jumping down your throat, saying that everything's lost.
Exactly. And you can tell lipstick on a pig with a flip or something that's built correctly. Right? So same thing in roofing. If you know the product that you're trying to sell, you got to specialize in tile roofs. If you're trying to sell a tile roof, you're not just going to door knock and say you know what you're doing, then call for help.
And but that's what you run into a lot in Texas. No, I'm dead serious. That's where a lot of contractor nightmares come from in Texas because you're getting people who don't know what they're doing. They just know how to sell it. And then once they sell it, they're trying to figure out how to source it out. And they're
They'll
just
take 20%.
Yep, and they're getting
and that's a mess.
They're getting nailed. So it's a domino effect because the person that they try to contract out does them wrong. Then who's ever like trying to coordinate gets knocked down done wrong. Then they have to do the owner wrong.
Yep.
So it's man, everybody gets done pretty dirty, and that's another thing that you kind of got to be skeptical about. I know a lot of people just go on roofing companies, and they're getting sold by salesmen and people that don't really understand how crucial it is for you to make sure that the work's done right, and always trying to go for someone, of course, cheaper. Do you guys have those same problems in real estate right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've always had those problems, but last year in August, there was a big shift because there was major lawsuits going on with commissions. And so to me, nothing really changed with my business.
Yeah.
It's the agents that are newer that are getting affected with, negotiating commissions, and a lot of people that are hurting. It's in any industry. It's in lending. It's in insurance. It's in roofing. There's people out there that would rather make $2,000 than no money.
Than no grand.
Or
And a
$1,000
deal,
bucks,
and the deal should have been 20 grand.
20 grand, yeah.
That's
So
wild.
I mean, there's people taking $2 million listings at 1%, and that's 120 grand commission normally, and they're taking 1% on it, so they're making 20 grand. So, and it's not really about that, but it's more so you need to be able to sell yourself and why you're at your price, why I'm at my price. And a lot of times, if you go with the cheaper agent, you're not getting half the stuff. Just like in roofing, you're not getting half the stuff they're supposed to do to the roof.
So what are like two main things that you've seen by going with someone cheaper in real estate that they miss out on?
Well, their marketing is going to be terrible. Their pictures are going to be terrible.
They'll just throw it up.
They just throw
They
it on
just kind
MLS.
of throw it up. They don't really care about the information. Like Boo takes the time to walk the house. We take our time to gather all the information, talk to the clients. Like we have a great photography company.
Yeah, I mean, just photography, I probably spend on average, like this house, if you're like Boo sell this house, I'm spending at least $1,000.
Just on
they're
photography?
gonna look good.
Most agents
Yeah.
are spending $150, $250.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning because that's what's going to be put online, right? But we also do Instagram reels and marketing videos that we also pay companies. Like, for instance, if you wanted to put a video for YFR on Dallas, Texas TV, Instagram, it's what was it, $2,500?
Yeah.
something like
It's
that, they
expensive,
charge. But
yeah.
we do that thing. Like I got an $8.3 million home. Heck yeah, I'll pay something to get that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, to get it
I
out.
don't think that was the best page for it, but there's other pages that have to do with real estate that have huge followings, and
That you
they get
can.
shared all over the world, right? So, email blast. So Carly is paid as my assistant, but that's the beauty to it is I can be out working, and she's constantly keeping up with feedback on showings. She's constantly contacting agents. She is out sending emails every time something changes or we have open houses. They're getting email blasts to all the top agents in the area. I mean, the list goes on, but when you hire somebody for 1%, they're taking $250 pictures. They're going to throw it up on MLS. That doesn't cost them anything. I mean, you have like a yearly $300, $400 fee for MLS, but hindsight, just to do your listing didn't cost them anything. And they sit and they wonder, they might do an open house the first weekend,
Yeah.
but then they wonder why that house has been sitting for
Why it ain't
180
selling.
days.
Yeah.
So I just had a guy email me. We sold 2 homes in Van Alstyne, the ones you looked at the roofs on that cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
His house has been sitting. He's ready to fire his agent. He wanted to know if I would do it for 2.5%. That's 0.5% less. Should I have probably done it? Sure, why not? Right?
Yeah.
It's the principle, though. The 2 clients, one of them was a good friend of mine. She paid 3%. Why am I going to do 2.5 for you?
Right.
And your house is sitting, and then you keep doing price improvements.
And you put me at the back of the bus.
Yeah, and you're doing price improvements. So put your price back because it wasn't a price issue. It was a market issue and it was an agent issue.
Yeah.
And then you can pay me my 3 and I'll get your house sold. But you have to have the value. You have to be able to say, and not everybody gets to that point where you can turn business down. But I'm fortunate enough where like if I don't like how you work with me, I don't work for you.
Absolutely.
That's what I try to teach people. I don't need to take your deal. We just closed last month about $7 million in the slowest market I've seen since I've been in real estate.
Yeah.
And I just told you a good agent sells that in a year.
True.
So if I don't like how you're talking to me or treating me, or if you don't see the value in me, then I don't have to take that deal. Now, you also run into, people that have 4 listings for you. They got 4 properties.
So you're being bend a little corner.
You know
for
when
'em.
you can bend it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but and then when you get into the luxury real estate, there are tiers. Like especially if you're like in Highland Park, Preston Hollow, selling $10 million homes, it's probably likely you're seeing a tier system. Like first $1 million you get 3, then the next $3 million you get this, or it's a flat fee. I see that more so in the high end luxury.
Okay.
You're 1, 2, 3 million. It's still, I'm still wanting 3.
Yeah.
Because actually those listings are going to take longer.
Yeah.
You're spending more money and you're
More time.
more time. I mean, those are the ones you don't want to discount. The house in Plano for $450,000 is going to sell in a weekend.
Right. And they're easy.
Yeah.
I ate 3 days.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it just like I said, you gotta show the value in what you bring to the table, and if somebody doesn't see that or they want to go cheaper, then you will probably, in my experience, be the next time they call you.
Yeah.
The next roof they need, they're going to call you. The next house they need, they're going to call you because one, they move into a house and all kinds of stuff comes up they didn't know about.
Yep.
Or 2, they had a terrible experience and now they're like, we should have called Boo or Demetris.
Yep.
So,
And they're having regrets.
yeah.
Good. Well, one last thing with you, Carly. Since we're on the topic of value now, what kind of value could you possibly give anyone looking to even get into the real estate business of doing what you do in the real estate business? Any piece of advice and value that you can give everyone?
I would say if you really want to get into it, it just really comes back to hustle. You have to have the effort and energy to want to do it. If you don't want to be in real estate, you don't want to be in real estate. You're either in it to be a pretty girl trying to sell real estate, and I guess that would be the woman factor. Like, do you like the looks of being a pretty girl in real estate and like maybe making $100K a year? That's awesome. Like nobody's complaining. Or do you actually want to sell real estate? Do you want to learn the hard
be a
stuff?
boss,
Like,
yeah.
right. Do you want to learn the hard stuff? Do you want to negotiate? Do you want to work with people like Boo? Do you not? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And like,
And I'll tell you what, it was so going back to like one of the first questions was, for me, I've been doing this going on 10 years, right? But I think Carly came on like end of year 7 to 8. I was doing 30 to 40 million by myself. No transaction coordinator, no assistant, and I had no problem. But she was persistent. I mean, she called. I mean, it was like 6 months of her hitting me up every month, trying to get a meeting with me. And I honestly,
You were so busy.
Well, I'm a creature of habit. Like, and I'm a control freak. And she learned that quick. She had to learn how I do things because other agents she did TC work for did different, you know? So she had to learn how I do things. And I am very organized to where like I would even get mad if she didn't put the house picture on the file because I like opening it up and just seeing the picture.
Just saying it because you got that photogenic.
Yeah, like I don't know the address. I would tell her like,
There's
I don't
a
know.
lot
She's
of
like,
little
it's the
things like
address.
that.
I'm like, I just looking for the picture.
I was like, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember it. And so for me, finally, I was like, a lot of agents get into wanting teams and they want to get into it so fast they start trying to have buyer agents, right?
Yeah.
That's not the first step. I can tell you from experience, don't do that. Hire a TC. If you already have a TC, then go for an assistant. And if you can find a licensed assistant like Carly, that's the way to go because she can now write on your contracts. You know, she can do everything I do.
Yeah.
So if you're just an assistant, you can check them
But you
and
can't
tell me
type
what's wrong,
anything.
right? Same with a TC. Your TC has to be licensed.
Right.
But
Because they're
an
legal contracts.
yes.
So
It's promulgated forms. You couldn't touch them.
Okay.
You have to be licensed to touch them. You can go get LegalZoom to draw you up some kind of real estate contract, but you can't touch our forms without a license. So for her to keep blowing me up, I said, fine. I said, I'm going to throw you a deal because she was already licensed, so she could take a transaction. So she started as a TC. And that's how we grew. I didn't just throw everything on her plate.
Yeah.
She became a TC, and then once I started seeing like, dang, she's good.
Yeah.
I can give her more to do. And so she runs my social media. She does everything. So and it didn't
looks
happen.
good.
Yeah.
thanks.
I've seen a big change.
Yeah, you can tell. I'm not gonna say this.
I mean,
you
we
can
got
tell.
a long ways to go, but
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
it's like I genuinely like working
You can
with
tell a
Boo,
female is
so.
doing my templates.
Yeah.
You know, mine was just pretty cut and dry. And,
Yeah.
but
Nah,
it's given her more and more as she can take it on. And then I've almost tried to take it back. Like, hey, I'm gonna hire something else out because just like me and you want to figure out all the things we don't like doing and we hire it out because it's not worth the time.
Free up more time.
It's same for her. Like if social media was a headache for her, let me go find somebody to do the social media.
Social media.
But right now she's in a good place where she's getting everything done, and some days are harder than others. You know, we just did like 4 contracts yesterday, and that's a busy day.
Yeah.
So social media, not
Yeah,
getting
social
posted.
media is on the back burner that day, you know.
But you know that you have to get on it like the
Exactly.
next
You got to
few days
prioritize
then.
things.
Yeah.
You need to prioritize.
and it's good to space it out.
Yeah.
You got to look busy all the time, even when you're not.
Do you do all your social media?
Yeah, I do.
That's badass. I'm like, that's wild.
Don't
You're
hype him up.
Listen, like I'm good at this. Me and Boo have a lot of similarities. That's why we butt heads.
Yeah.
A lot. I'm kind of like a control freak. I'm like, I gotta have my hands on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're all grown. We're all working on the different things. So maybe Boo can give me some pointers on the
You
back
just need to
end.
find-
Well,
the
no,
card.
it's hard because even him saying he wants to hire it out now I'm like, I don't want anyone else
Yeah,
to
you
do
want
it. But
somebody
I
to
know
do it.
that like
Yeah,
our
we
time
got-
could
me
be
and her
used
got in a
better,
fight
but it's
about it.
hard.
And
We did
it's
get in a
just
fight
it's
about
just
it.
growth, and that's one thing that I like to preach. Growth is always uncomfortable. Everybody has to get uncomfortable. Everything has to get uncomfortable for you to grow into another comfort level. And then when you do that, you got to go get uncomfortable again.
You do.
So
And you got to see the value in it. Like
Yep.
coming up with being able to pay her. I'm like, dang, I was doing it all
like,
myself.
bro, that was all my money.
Well, it's like I was doing it myself. Why do I got paid? But then you realize after 6 months to a year of it, like
You can go put
I'm
more
able to
time.
do other stuff.
Yeah, you can go put more time into things you need to
It
do.
definitely, you guys see the value in it because if you don't see the value in it, you're going to be unhappy about it the whole time.
Absolutely. So, well, there you have it, guys. Another episode of Through the Line. I would like to really appreciate both of you for coming and talking and giving some tidbits on real estate. If you guys have any questions or you need a home sold, I mean, you hear what these guys do. They're a tremendous team. They don't fail. I've seen plenty of times, even in situations where they got thrown into the muddy bucket, they came out with clean water. So we got their Instagram tags and everything, the real estate group here on the video. Go follow them. Go check out the amazing things that they do. And, hey, maybe you can even find your future home there. I really appreciate you.
We'll make sure that home has a good roof too.
Absolutely so. Your favorite roof.
Yeah. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for
Yes,
having
sir.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.